Hey, so I thought I would give a bit of a brief update on how things have been going and what I'm going to be working on now. So, how things have been going. I when I last did a vlog, I was talking about how I was doing a lot of workouts by feel and kind of taking things a little bit easy on the hip. So in the pros column, the hip seems to be doing quite a bit better. I've done a couple squat sessions at like 50, 60%. Occasionally I'm getting hip pain. I've also figured out some ways I think to stretch it better, and going into this next like kind of little off-season period, I think I'm going to try and do a lot of hip flexor work and stretching and like these sorts of things, trying to really focus on the rehab of the hip a bit, and that part is looking good. So I'm excited about that. I really want to get back to squatting 600 plus. Squat's my favorite lift. It's kind of gutting that I can't do it. So that part's going great. Other stuff is not going so well. So I talked about last vlog how I was doing a lot of things by feel because it was working out pretty well for the bent press, as well as talking about how I was working on a lot of like hand strength stuff and this type of stuff. I kind of hit a wall with bent press and then just decided to back off of it rather than just keep trying to push. I don't think, I made several attempts at 190 pounds and I was not able to hit it. I think I posted one. If not, I'll post one soon. But so I hit a little bit of a wall there. Haven't hit a wall yet on one arm snatch. I've hit 150 with each arm. So that might actually, I might be able to do something decent there. But for the most part, kind of stalled out with what I was focused on. And now that I'm going to be maxing out later on June, where this is talking about where I'm going a little bit, I'm starting to bring it back to focusing on the deadlift, the bench, the clean and jerk, and the snatch, which are the lifts I can do because I can't squat. And things are not looking so good overall. Maybe I'll be able to hit a new PR on bench and deadlift. Clean and jerk and snatch don't look particularly good. Snatch looks especially bad. Snatch is actually just wildly bad right now. Where I had a session. I've been trying to work up on singles, and maybe it was just a terrible day, but I went over 4 with 205, and the heaviest single I've hit like recently is 195 on snatch, pounds, not kilos. I'm not a beast. And so this feels a little bit bad because I am like knocking on the door of one arm snatching 160, which is like over 80% of like what I can snatch with two arms. So it's like, why even use the other arm? Snatch has always kind of been a bad lift for me, which sucks because I really like snatch. And I just really need to buckle down and focus on my weightlifting form at some point. One of the problems is obviously, if you're following like what I'm doing, is I'm doing 7 different lifts, and they're all the power lifts aren't very technical, but all the other lifts are fairly technical, and so I just can't get the technical volume in, and I don't have like a weightlifting coach either. So I think there's a lot. I'm just like so strong for the snatch, but I just like can't put everything together, and I could like muscle snatch 180, or yeah, I can muscle snatch 185. And sorry about that. And so yeah, things are just not going so well, especially on the weightlifting front. Maybe I'll be able to do something with clean and jerk. I hit 280. I think this is the heaviest single I've hit. My max is 315, and I haven't attempted anything heavier than 280 though. I kind of didn't really jerk very much at all this training cycle, if you can really call it a cycle, because it's been a hot mess. And I was hoping that all like the other overhead stuff I was doing was going to have relatively high transference, and it just doesn't feel like I have high transference. I was hoping to find a little bit of training volume freed up for the shoulder, like overall shoulder, because there's a ton of shoulder volume in my program because everything's overhead. Like all the one arm lifts are all overhead, so I was trying to free up some volume so my shoulders didn't feel so fatigued all the time. And so I was trying to cut out jerk, and then now it's looking like that's probably going to be where I'm going to stick. I wouldn't be shocked if when in a couple days when I do 195 for singles, if I just like can't jerk it, I'll just like clean it just fine, but just can't jerk it. So weightlifting stuff's not looking so hot. Powerlifting, I can't squat, although it's looking like it's going to get better. And then deadlift actually looks okay. I've been hitting volume PRs that seem reasonable. My form feels really terrible and looks really bad, but the weight's going up, and so maybe I'll be able to hit, I'm hoping to hit 615 on deadlift, which would be a 15-pound PR, but we'll see. For bench, I had a really good bench day when I did 295 for 6, and that had me thinking, like, I look up the 1 rep max calculator, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll bench 350, and then I come around and I try to do 315 for 3, and I can't. So that was kind of demoralizing a bit. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to help with bench. My current PR is 335. I'm hoping I can break that. I think I can break that. I'm hoping to be able to hit 350. So we're looking at the max outs for like the main lifts. Maybe I can get something done on the powerlifting lifts. But overall, it's not looking so good. From like the last 3 months of training, there's been a lot of just like weird stuff in the hip getting hurt, and like I think I've been overall productive, but like it doesn't coming in for this landing of this like this peaking max out session, it doesn't feel very good. There's a couple other things. Is I might try and throw in some one arm lift PRs, even though I've been going heavy on those a lot anyways, so like it's not trying something new. I might be able to get something done with one arm snatch. I have not attempted heavier than 150, and I have hit 150 with both arms. I'm thinking maybe I can hit 160 with the left and 155 with the right, which is a 5-pound PR on each. We'll see. I am kind of leery about the one arm snatch because I'm still not sure what hurt my hip between the one arm snatch and the squat, or maybe it's just both. Because the squat is obviously very heavy, but like the one arm snatch is unique because it's the only like lift where you're like getting this like explosive lateral force when you catch the bar and you are twisted 90 degrees, right? So the bar is going to shove you in a direction, and that's going to like, it's going to extend down into your hips, and so I think that could have done it as well. So I'm a little leery about going super, super hard, but I kind of think I can hit 160. Which to me is just like, also like, when I think about it in relation to my regular snatch, it's just like mind-boggling how I just can't snatch more. But anyways, bent press, I've backed down quite a bit on anything heavy with it, but I've been doing a ton of light bent press. Almost every day now. I've been doing it 1 to 3 times a day. And I'm kind of testing out the priming the pump type of thing that Pavel has endorsed. The idea is you just do a lift really light, and you do it multiple times a day, and you just go for like volume and like neural connection, like these type of things, and get a lot stronger that way. If this method seems like it works, which this is going to be a small sample size, so I'm going to try it a little bit more, then I might be looking to do it more in the future. And so where I'm coming at with like where I'm going is, so I have upcoming late June, I'm going to max out, and then I'm going to deload and like, I don't know, run or like do something more general fitnessy and then come back. But after I come back, I think I'm going to try and see about this priming the pump business, because it solves an enormous problem I have with my programming, which is that there is just too much shoulder volume. And my shoulders just get like blasted, and they're just super tired. My shoulders feel great in terms of like fitness and health, but they just get so tired because everything is overhead. And so if I can offload some stuff, especially the one arm movements, to just doing it lighter with a high degree of frequency or something like this, and this frequency doesn't fatigue me very much, but it still gives me decent carryover, this would be fantastic. And so I'm hoping that's the case, but we'll see. I suppose I should try and read up on the literature more on this, but like for the most part, people anecdotally who are trying to lift heavy aren't lifting heavy by lifting really light a whole bunch. And so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And the last sort of thing is Turkish get-ups are, I don't know, like I haven't been doing them that consistently. I could probably go for a PR on them, but I think I might just like leave them for next training cycle in terms of like trying to go super heavy. I hit 140. I don't think I'll post the video. The video's like really bad because the angle's terrible, but I hit 140 with the right pretty cleanly. I've hit a messy 145. I think there's a lot of room there for improvement because I've had less than 5, I think, Turkish get-up sessions. And so it is a lift that I'm interested in, and so is one-arm clean and jerk, which I might incorporate next training cycle. But I think I'm just going to try and get everything back on. I think I'm going to be focused on trying to figure out a way to start working the squat in without it being too high intensity, and I'm thinking I will use one of my old templates for Supertotal training, and what I'll do is I will start whatever the weight is I get for squat based on percentage. I'm going to start with 80% of that, and then the next week I will do 18%, and so on and so forth over the course of 16 weeks, next week I'll do 81% over the course of 16 weeks. So at the end, I'm going off of like 95% of my 1 rep max when I'm determining my maxes. So if at the end, when I'm doing like 100% of my 1 rep max, I'll really just be doing 95%. And so this way it just slowly it'll make the angle of the intensity increase on squat look a lot steeper, but I'll just be starting on a much lower level to hopefully try and ease it back into it. This is the best way I can think of with trying to keep like my old programming, which I did very well on earlier. So I think I want to try and run it back. The 16-week session I ran from like last year, from like August to October or whatever it was. I'm thinking I want to run that back July to September or whatever. And see, yeah, so that's what I want to do. I'm going to try and incorporate some of Pavel's priming the pump stuff. I've been thinking about paying for like a session with like Max Ada or someone to look over my program and try and get advice. But there is no singular person that is like doing exactly what I'm doing in terms of like Supertotal Plus. And so it's hard to know if you can get your money's worth on like this type of thing, and I'm generally pretty frugal. If you saw my shoes vlog, I got the cheapos. So we will see how that shakes out. Anyways, if anyone has any thoughts, suggestions, or anything like that, especially I've gotten a couple requests for tutorials. If I get like 5 requests for any specific tutorial, I will make a good faith effort to like look at doing it. I've gotten 2 for the bench press, and so far I've just sent them to other people. But if I keep getting them, I will try and see if I can put something together that I think is substantive and incorporate some of my knowledge, like maybe how to walk out a bench press. To my knowledge, I'm the only person who does it. I've never seen anyone else try and walk out a bench press. And I think that there's some technique to that involved. Why I do it, I don't think it necessarily makes the lift easier. I do it because I think it's easier on the gym equipment overall. But anyways, have a good one.